see it in a second.
Here we go. Hello, everyone. Well, you've seen the fan reaction show for Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. Of course, you're going to come to scoring the players. And of course, Sam Milner is still involved with us. And of course, Kyle Thompson, my fellow NE29 brother, maybe we'll call him that for today.
Brethren.
is with us for scoring the players. Get your scores underneath, and we'll see if you agree with what me, Sam, and Kyle put for that goalless draw against Brighton. Me and Sam were just debating which goalless draw was worse, the one at St James's or the one at the Amex. So
get your comments in, everyone.
That's how interesting it was. I'm going to start with Martin Dubravka. I thought he made some fine saves this afternoon. What am I going to give him? I'm going to give him a 7. I thought it was I thought it was a very easy afternoon. He made a couple of decent saves, especially in the second half. There was one that he tipped over the crossbar and it swerved a little bit in the last second. So, yeah, very comfortable afternoon for Dubravka, really. It was that poor that both goalkeepers didn't do a great deal. Samuel, let's start with the 3 centre-halves, and we'll start with Danny Rose.
I thought Danny Rose did well today. I'll give him a 7 as well, considering he's never played centre-back before in his life. It still baffles me that, Steve Bruce had one senior centre-back fit, so he went for 3 at the back, obviously. Danny Rose, he was on the receiving end of some pretty nasty challenges throughout the game. Coped with it fine, battled on like a hardened centre-back. So fair play to him. At the end of the day, they've kept a clean sheet, so the defence was probably least of our concerns today. Didn't really put a foot wrong under the circumstances. He played fine.
Yeah, it was a fine performance. I think all the defenders didn't really do a great deal wrong. I think obviously they had the little bit of moments, but I thought they were all pretty much fine. Kyle, I'll let you continue with Federico Fernandez. Just about our only fit centre-half. He'll be absolutely delighted there's only one game left.
Yeah, he will be. He's played every minute, hasn't he? I think the club tweeted an iron with like an arm emoji, something like that, saying Iron Man, because he's played every minute, and even though he's had a couple of hit-y-missy performances within that, he's managed to stay fit and he's managed to keep soldiering on. So fair play to him for that. But I can't give it any different to Danny Rose or Dubravka, to be honest. 7 out of 10, very solid. I don't think he put a foot wrong today. And it's hard. It's because everyone defensively had a similar kind of performance. We were solid. We didn't get really broke down or anything. So I kind of give him less or more than anyone else.
Fernandez was my man of the match,
Was he? Would you give him more than a 7 then?
Yeah, based on that. He organised the defence. He was playing with players out of position. And they've kept a clean sheet. They've kept Molpe and the rest of them pretty quiet in what was a hideous game to watch, as we all know, because we've all sat through it. But Fernandez, under the circumstances, I think he's excelled since the restart and organised that defence, and was my man of the match. Superb, I thought.
I thought you could argue him. Dubravka had his moments, but again, I can't disagree with that, if I'm being brutally honest. Emil Craft, I don't think was as good as Fernandez and Rose, and that's why I'm just going to mark him 1 less, and I'm going to go for 6. I actually expected Kel Watts to start today. I really did. I was quite surprised to see Emil Craft in the starting lineup, but he did okay. Again, he didn't have a lot to deal with. He got stuck in a few challenges. Especially second half, I seen one where him and Morpay literally kicked these other shins and managed to get a free kick for it. So I thought, why not? That's not too bad. But again, does he have a long-term future for this football club? In my personal opinion, I don't think he's good enough. I think the Premier League, against teams like Brighton, Norwich, Bournemouth, he's going to have a good game because that's the sort of level I think he's at. If Newcastle want to improve, I don't think Emil Craft's going to be in that centre of defence or even at right back at Newcastle, in my opinion. We'll go to the left-hand side, I don't know what I want to call it, left wing or left midfield. I don't know. I'm going to go left wing. That's what I'm going to play with. Matt Ritchie, Kyle.
10 out of 10. Matt Ritchie's getting a 10 for a day. For calling the linesman, what a wee dick. Fantastic from Matt Ritchie. Best as ever. So for that reason alone, as his performance was pretty lackluster like everyone else's, 10 out of 10 for Matt Ritchie. Get your comments in. You kind of disagree with me. 10 out of 10. No bother. That's why I requested Matt Ritchie, because he gets the 10 out of 10 for today. Get your comments in and give us as much stick as you want to. No word.
just slightly disagree with that. No, in all seriousness, Kyle, if you had to give him a proper mark just on the basis of the performance and not what he said to the official, what did you make of his performance this afternoon?
If it's on his performance alone and not what he said to the linesman, I'll have to give him a 6 out of 10. That's depressing, because I wanted to keep it as 10 out of 10.
Him up a little bit.
But
Kyle, can I just bump in? I can ask a quick question. Do you think in the first half, when he kind of miskicks the ball and he literally is it Morpay, and they're both tangled against each other, do you think that was maybe an argument for a penalty for Brighton?
If it went to VAR, I think it would have been given, to be honest. So probably, but he had a good couple of crosses into the box that weren't dealt with well by Brighton, and then were our main chance. Didn't he put the cross in for Carroll's header, or was it Shelvey who put the cross in?
No, it was Ritchie, yeah.
So he put a couple of chances in the box and tried to make something of it. So yeah, I'll give Ritchie a 6 on the basis of that. I think from his mistakes, he balanced it out with some decent crossing.
Yeah, for sure. Sam, I'll let you continue with Javier Manquillo. Doesn't offer you anything going forward, defensively solid enough, but if he wasn't playing, would we have noticed?
No, I think that position there in what was, I thought it was more of a 3-4-3 than a 5 at the back today.
Yeah.
That position that Manquillo played today should have been tailor-made for Lazaro. It really should.
100%.
I'll give Manquillo a 5 because, clean sheet and all that. But we needed more from him. The crosses he put in were poor. There was on a few occasions that him and ASM did link up well, which they do. But when it was laid back off to him and the crosses were just 5-10 yards further behind them where they should have been, they were on the edge of the box instead of in the mixer, So it was a bit frustrating to watch Manquillo today. Defensively sound, but as I say, that should have been Lazaro today, really.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to continue with 5 out of 10 for Nabil Bentaleb. He does have a couple of heavy touches, and I think sometimes that's why he's going to lose the ball against the better teams in particular. But today, did he really do anything massively wrong today compared to the likes of the games against Watford? No, I don't think he was that bad, but and Man City, like that Man City, I can still remember that performance like it was a couple of hours ago. Soaking Sam. He's just about calmed down from that moment. But yeah, I'll go 5 out of 10. Nothing spectacular from Mr. Bentaleb. Sam, I'll let you go back on to John Joe Shelvey. Slightly better than Bentaleb in my opinion. You can tell with Shelvey that he wants to try to do something. He wants to try and do something extravagant just to kind of bring Newcastle forward. And I thought today he was fine, but he was a little bit better than Bentaleb. But
yeah,
it wasn't the best game. It wasn't the best game. Like Newcastle Brighton wasn't the best game for him today.
No, it was probably. I mean, it's probably the worst he's played for a while, really, and that's probably because Shelvey's been so good and consistently good. So I'll probably give him a 6, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Put in a couple of good balls, tried to spray it round, but not a lot was coming off. He was kind of pottering about in the centre of the park, which was brilliant when I just put an article out this morning saying he doesn't do that anymore. So that was good.
Articles on Newcastle Fans TV website, by the way. So if you want to give that a quick read before you go and player ratings or score on the players.
On NewcastleFansTV.com, where I've written 2 articles in 2 days that have been, and I quote, well received. Anyway, yeah. It's my first 2 for about a month. But yeah, it wasn't classic Shelvey today. There could have been more from him. The game was played very narrow. It was quite congested in the middle of the park, I thought. The wide players weren't being utilised enough, which, Manquillo, prime example, only getting 5. But yeah, 6 out of 10, just above average from Shelvey.
Kyle, Alan saint-maximin, I don't think it's fit. I don't think he's
No,
fit at
no,
all.
I thought he was hobbling
What?
around as well, far too early. And this is another argument that could be made of why Lazaro wasn't starting. And I said in the preview that there's a bit of conspiracy rolling around with where he's concerned. And I don't think he's allowed to play any more than 20 minutes of a game. Because has he only started, once or twice since he came to a Newcastle shirt? Lazaro?
Yeah,
he's not getting
possibly.
played. Like Steve Bruce is going on about this injury crisis, but he keeps playing the same bloody players. And this will go against them later on. But where Lazaro's concerned, how's he meant to get a start? I mean, now it's going for him. But as for Saint-Maximin, he looked injured today. He was hobbling around. He got kicked a couple of times in the first half as well. But it just didn't seem his type of game. Both teams were trying to put the ball to each other, making very little of it. Both teams were too deep to cause any problems. I think our tactic today was give him the ball and see what he can do. But I just think he didn't have the legs. I think he's still injured. Personally, I think he should set out against Liverpool if anything. I think
that won't happen though, Kyle. That won't happen. That's why he took him off.
No, it won't. It won't because our manager can't manage a squad properly without people getting injured. And I'll give Maximin a 6 out of 10 for his effort and obviously a couple of little turns here and there. But there's now what you can do if you're playing him 20 yards into your own half and asking him to run with the ball when he's half injured in any way. It's a difficult job for him to carry the team on his shoulders when he's got one leg. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Maximin.
I thought Miguel Miron was a spare part today. I really did, and I just felt he was floating around. He had a chance near the end, but I don't know. I think
been a few games like that with Miggy lately, hasn't there?
There has. I've spoke about it. I spoke about this in the last word. Like I've been asked to talk about the formation, and I think this formation, if you don't put Miggy, if you put Miggy in the centre, but if someone puts a defensive midfielder in front of them, Miggy's nowhere in this game, and that's why I'll give him a 5 today. But any improvement on the last game that we had against Tottenham? No, it just didn't really get involved as much. Like first half, did we see anything from him? Not a lot. Second half, probably a tiny bit more if I'm being really generous. I think maybe he does need a break as well. Maybe the same with him and ASM. I'm probably being nice to him a little bit, but I think the end of the season has pretty much come at the right time for Newcastle. And I think the fact that we've only got one game left, and yes, it's against Liverpool, but it doesn't really matter who that last game is. You know, the fact that they can get 2 months. They're probably going to get about 3 or 4 weeks off of no football and complete rest because they're not going to be playing Champions League games or European games or anything stupid like that.
It's just as well, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Give them a rest. Like give all the team a rest and just make sure that when we come back, regardless if it's a takeover or not, because we still need a squad for next season, not just a starting 11. So let's see what happens with Miguel Miron. Like I'm a big fan of him when he's on song because he's a good player when he wants to be. So hopefully he can prove me right next season. Sam, Dwight Gayle, big chance. It didn't seem a big chance right at the end of first half, but it was a big chance when you look at the whole game with that header that just went over the crossbar. Anything else that you can remember? Because that's pretty much it for me.
No, I think that was it. Yeah, didn't really get into the game apart from that chance, did he? It was. I mean, it could have been like having Joe Linton up front. So he did have that one chance, and he didn't really do much wrong with it. So I'll give him a kind of generous 5. I think it could have easily been a 4 if I was in a bad mood, but I'm not. Yeah,
that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, struggled to get into the game. Again, is that a game that maybe Muto should have got his chance? Is that a game, Carroll should have started? Carroll caused havoc when he came on. Should have scored.
Well, Carroll was nearly played centre back. Did you know?
Well, I actually don't think that's as stupid as it was made out to be, but that's one for another day. But yeah, I think Gayle was pretty ineffective today, and it's just one of them games where Muto, Allen, or Carroll,
Alan Shearer.
Yeah, I wish.
I know.
I wish.
I know.
No, young Thomas Allen. But yeah, it was a day for one of them. But it is what it is, and we were left with a pretty ineffective forward line.
We were. I think the three of us were probably a better forward line. Get your comments below if you think us three could have done a better job this afternoon.
But you can hit them surely, Johnny. So
well,
know.
All I'm saying is I scored 2 against SCFC on TV, didn't I? Substitutes. Not us. We're not the substitutes. First one, well, there was 2 both at the same time. Andy Carroll and Joe Linton. I'll start with Joe Linton. 5.
That's very generous, Johnny.
5.
What did he do? Did he touch the ball?
He did. He played Shelvey for him. Shelvey was a little bit smarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
there's the 5 then. Right, spot on. I'll put the 5 in for you.
Yeah, no,
generous for Joe.
I know, having a bit of a laugh, but like I say, he came on with about 15-20 minutes to come, and he did what Joe Linton does really, but he did hold the ball up a little bit better, which I don't think he actually lost the ball for once.
That's a video idea. What does Joe Linton do? And just explain what he does. Does he score goals? Does he play on the wing? Does he defend? Who knows? Watch. Link in the description.
He probably start against Liverpool as ASM's like only 40% fit. That's what I think will happen.
Andrew Roberts going to be shitting his kegs.
Just a bit. Andy Carroll. Kyle gone like have Andy Carroll. Should have won it.
Yeah, but it's easy to blame Andy Carroll. We're very frustrating for 90 minutes of the game, but he did have that major chance, so I'll give him a 4. But he did put himself about. Actually, no, I'm just thinking about it now. Nah, he played better than Joe Linton, so I'll give him a 6. So yeah, 6 out of 10. You missed the header, but he put himself about and he looked in.
That's a live fan reaction.
But I'll backtrack and put it right. But I'm in control, so it's one of them, isn't it? I'm in control of this video, so I'll get to change that. I mean, comments let us know, but yeah, 6 out of 10 for Andy Carroll. Put himself about. I know he missed that chance, but he played a little bit better than Joe Linton, didn't he? So 6 out of 10. Sorry, boys.
I'll not change my mind. I'm not changing my mind on this one. Valentin Lazaro should have started this game, but he's getting non-applicable because he only had about 5 minutes to do something about it. So we're going to move on to Steve Bruce. 44 points, 1 off Rafa. The formation, I actually like the formation, believe it or not. I think it. Hear me out. I like the formation. It just doesn't have the personnel at the minute. It just doesn't, especially at the back. And I would get rid of Bentleb for Hayden. That right-hand side is a question mark. Because if you're going forward, Lazaro starts for me in that sort of position. I agree with Sam with that. Left-hand side, I don't know. Would you prefer to see Rose or Ritchie in that left-hand side? Can Rose do anything going forward to be more effective from that left-hand side? Willems, yeah, it would be actually perfect for Willems. I think that'd be really, really interesting to see him in that position, the left-hand side, if we sign him next season. Steve Bruce, what does he get today for a 0-0 draw against Brighton away from home? I'm going to go 5 out of 10.
Really? Johnny, I can't let that one lie, mind. I can't.
What would you have given him?
I would have given him a 3. I mean, you look nothing to play for, right? No youngsters play today, and should
he have started Kel Watts today?
Kel Watts should have been in the squad. Tom Allen should have been in the squad. Dan Barlaser, all the young lads should have been in. Do you know what I mean? At least they've got a point to prove, because half of them the day looked on the beach, mate.
I think Barlaser. I think he's ineligible.
Yeah, Barlaser can't play.
Barlaser can't play, but the rest of the young lads, do you know what I mean, that have been on the bench and have been involved, like Kellen Watts, how did he not get 10 minutes today? I know we played, whether it was a 3 or a 5, that's to be argued, but there was still 3 centre backs today, and one of them's a centre half. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, Bruce has done an okay job this season. He's surpassed what we expected at the start of the season, especially with Rafa and stuff like that. But like today, on the basis of today, give the youngsters a chance. He just didn't. Like, I know you like this formation, Johnny, but it didn't work. We got outplayed for the majority of the half. The plan was a 3. The first half. The plan was a 3 out of a back 3, but it ended up being a back 5 or 10. We're penned into one half. Like, a lot of it, I think.
Where do you sit on the sound? If you can just put a score first, and then I'll ask you to explain.
I'll say a 3. You're saying a 5. So Sam,
I'm saying 5.
No, I actually genuinely was going to say 4.
I'll meet
So-
you in the middle.
4. I'll meet in the middle. We'll go 4, Kyle. Sam, it's a point, but do you agree with Kyle? And I kind of agree with Kyle to a certain degree. I'm giving him a 5 because we didn't lose the game, if I'm being brutally honest. But I do agree with Kyle in the sense that give Watts a chance. Bring Alan on maybe with 20 minutes to go instead of a Joe Linton, because we know what Joe Linton's going to bring. If Muto's not going to be involved next season, I get not putting him in. I get that. But give the youngsters a chance, surely.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be a recurring theme on this video alone where we've said a couple of times already, this was the game to give such and such a chance. This was an ideal position for such and such. So your likes of Lazaro, Tom Allen, Watts. This game was perfect for Watts. If you'd have gone 4-2-3-1, like the team I put on the Facebook group, Newcastle Fans TV, follow, like, whatever you do. And then Fernandez, experienced, solid defender, playing well. Perfect game to stick a kid next to him, to talk him through, to work him through that game, to partner him through that game. Absolutely ideal. You can cope with Mope. He ain't Salah. All right, he's had a good season. He ain't Mane. He ain't Firmino. It would have been ideal, would have been perfect. I mean, he's done it tonight with Rose and Craft either side of him. So he could have done it with Watts next to him, no bother. Lazaro, I don't know what's happened there, because the 3 that have come in, he's the one that's played the least, and he's the one that we need to know about the most.
Do you think Bruce has made his mind up on him, Sam? Do you think that he just doesn't fancy him?
We don't know what he sees on the training ground, so that's a possibility. Same with Matty Longstaff.
I don't understand, though, if you're using that logic. How can you enjoy having Bentaleb on the field but not Lazaro? Because we see something different.
I don't enjoy having Bentaleb on the field. I've made that clear.
Yeah, I know we don't. We think Bentaleb is Bentaleb, but like Lazaro, when he comes on, like against Tottenham, I think it was, he caused the problem for Ritchie to score the goal, you know, whereas Bentaleb, what's Bentaleb done in the Newcastle shirt? Or cock up? Do you know what I mean? So for me, if it's a different story on the training field, then I understand, but like...
It's just the same frustrations. I mean, the fact is we can't agree on what formation we played tonight. You can't tell. I still think it was a 3-4-3.
I'm with you, Sam, on that one. I'm with you. I think it's 3. I thought it was 3-4-3. I have to be honest.
Kyle thinks it was 5 at the back. So, I mean, it's bizarre. And the fact is that players are getting knackered. Your likes of ASM, Almiron look jaded. They need the end of the season and they need it quick.
Well, that's another thing against Bruce as well. His squad management.
Oh, don't get me started. I've actually done an article on that on NewcastleFansTV.com.
Hey.
You know, it's just ever decreasing circles with Bruce, and they're going to come unstuck. We've got an injury crisis now. You're going to be fighting to get players fit for the start of next season at this rate. ASM, something doesn't look right with, but you know, we didn't lose. Whoop-de-doo. Great, well done. It's Brighton away.
It's all right because we only got the champions on Sunday. So that's 4 out of 10 for Steve Bruce and what was a very meh performance, as I'm going to say it. But that was scoring the players. Get your scores in, get your commenting. Who was your man of the match? I think we've kind of decided that Federico Fernandez, Martin Dubravka more or less share our man of the match this afternoon, which is probably fair, I think. But you've had your fan reaction, so make sure you give that watch and a like. If you can give this video a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. We've also got the last word with Lee. I've also talked about the formation a bit more in depth in the last word. So if you want to hear my views on that, that'd be really, really nice because that was really tough what I had to watch this afternoon. We're back again on Sunday as well for the Liverpool
What's coming up on Wednesday, Johnny?
Well, give us a bit of time. Let's get the Liverpool stuff out of the way and then I'll bring it in. That was actually on my little script. Do you know what it is? Try to do a professional job here, Kyle. You know what I mean? Like, and now,
why are you bringing me into it?
The new chemistry. Boy, that's why we've got our own show. Chemistry.
The new boy on the block that comes in and tries to spoil things. You know what I mean? No, in all seriousness, on Sunday it's the Liverpool match, the final game of the season. Yeah, we do welcome the champions, and we've got 4 videos. We've got the fan reaction, which will probably be with Sam because he's been on every one of them pretty much. Scoring the
And
players.
we've not won yet. So
No,
I'm gonna.
Sheffield
no.
United.
All right, okay, fair enough.
I
I thought
Were
he presented everyone he's presented. We haven't won. It's kind of a curse.
So
That's
Sam
starting to come in.
So
So
Sam
I'll
won't be
volunteer
involved on the fan reaction show against Liverpool. He might be, who knows? We've got the scoring the players, of course. We'll try and get a video with a Liverpool channel. We know we have a very, very good relationship with the Red Men, so we'll see if we can get them involved on through the week in a preview and maybe on Sunday after the match if they're not hungover from winning the league, as they will do, and celebrate it properly on Wednesday when they play Chelsea, when they get a Lifter trophy as well. And then we'll have the final last word of the season. In a very long season, Lee will be back with his reaction to the game against Liverpool. And on Wednesday, the Greenwood and Milner show has its 5th episode. It'll be with Joseph Craig, MBE, the Paralympian swimmer that won gold in London in 2012 and won bronze in Rio 2016. He is going to be on the Greenwood and Milner show. He'll discuss his career so far, and we'll touch about Newcastle as well to get his thoughts as well. So if you want to be involved in that, it's NFT the Extra 8:30. Make sure you get involved as well with that. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it all up. So my thanks to Kyle.
Thank you.
And my thanks to the second best bit of the Greenwood and Milner show.
Cheers, I'll take that. After the then me, then you. That's very generous.
Third if you count StreamYard.
I'll take being in the top 4 then. We'll see you on Sunday.
See you later, everyone.